Hello there, welcome to the Strife and Grimbone walkthrough. This time I hope to finish this walkthrough a creation of a Foundry VTT module for Pathfinder 2nd edition. Last time we had done the Temple of Dissension, where after defeating the statue, the PCs would discover the pit going down many tens of feet to the final level of the dungeon, which is called the Master's Crypt. Just formatting it ready to transfer to Foundry from my Word document. Well, let's call it actually Master's Antechamber. Okay. Do our lines for formatting. So we've gone from here. By the way, I have done the walls now, the terrain walls for the pillars, so you can see the pillars but not beyond the pillars, and external walls, and I've done it for the final chamber as well, which is where we are now. Look quite dark, doesn't it? This is because obviously it's a dark environment, and I set the scene darkness I adjusted the scene darkness so it doesn't follow the default of the daytime nighttime cycle, and then it defaults to bright, but I put it down to dark there. If we want to have a look more clearly as GMs, we do GM vision, so we can see what we're doing a bit more clearly. I have some tiles. We'll do the tile sort thing. I have some tiles that do the platforms, so that we can see the platform appear and disappear as we raise and lower it, which I'll talk a bit more about later. You have dropped down into a similarly sized chamber to the one above. This one has no pillars lining the walls, and instead of a continuation of the downward shaft, there is a slightly raised 15-foot square platform. Is it 15 foot? Yeah, approximately. Foot square platform in the centre of the room with shallow steps leading down to the outer floor. There are numerous metal doors in the walls. So they're made of metal. If the silver golem fell down here and is still functioning, it will have landed prone on the platform. Conclude the fight with any PCs in this area. If it was destroyed by the fall, its wreckage will be here. Only after the golem is destroyed will the following occur. We'll call it vampire attack. Oh, wrong thing. Control Z does a nice undo there. It's heading to. Only after the golem is destroyed will the following occur. Two of the metal doors, one to the east and one to the west, suddenly burst open outwards, and feral humanoid creatures with long claws and sharp canines leap through and attack. We'd probably say which doors in brackets, shouldn't we? A, opened and newly vacated, and D. Suddenly, right, let's do their stats now. We'll do it like that. Let's give them a bit of description. and then they've got the stats of vampire spawn rogues. We've got them vampire servitors. They're just the stats of vampire spawn rogues with an Arca picture and changing the name, and hopefully, yes, I've changed the name on the token too. So, yeah, no need to make them invisible, is there? And obviously that's another clue. That they're in those crypts. Control B to make it not bold. The master does not bother to join the flight, cult of sloth, remember, unless his own sarcophagus is opened, unless his own crypt door. Preferring to let his minions soften the PCs up first. Let's see what will be their tactics. They have no spells. So okay. We might clarify a few things here. So let's start off with it will follow with a grab. And then a drink blood action. As they were, I know, let's change it slightly. They were millennia before the master. On the townsfolk of Grimbone. Upon the old beast folk. So just a little bit of flavour there. So that's their combat. The crypts. So I think I'll just do these in bold. Be 5 spaces. Move back. Yeah, so this sarcophagus is opened and newly vacated by one of the vampire spawn that just attacked. There's no treasure here. B, the sarcophagus is shut. Dust and some broken bits of metal are all that remain of its former occupant. See, the sarcophagus is shut. There is another vampire spawn waiting inside that did not bother to attack when the PCs entered the central chamber. So we'll have that one hidden. It will attack when the sarcophagus is opened. Half buried in the dust of the sarcophagus is a bright ring the vampire spawn cannot use, a ring of minor natural wonders. Let's look at that. Maybe the name has been changed, or maybe it's just been dropped. So if you just bear with me a second, I'll look it up. So I think the reason why I couldn't find it is that I just made it up. So let's do it then. Got an item, find something to duplicate and change. Or let's just find any ring. Ring of bestial friendship. Import it. Need to edit this. I think we'll give it ability to cast a first level spell as well at item level 5. I don't think we want that white text, let's get rid of it. Just have normal text. Right, so let's find these cantrips. So I don't think we just have light, don't we? Lights observe, dancing lights. Detect magic. Oh, let's change it. Let's go stabilize. I think that's more useful. Soften the spell. No, let's make it even more useful. Rousing Splash. Apparently the official rules are that Rousing Splash can't be used to bring up a downed character because they're not real hit points, they're temporary hit points, but it's not quite clear that that's 100% the case. However, it does pretty much make Stabilize useless if you have Rousing Splash, and they're both cantrips. So anyway, so we had Rousing Splash. We should do Light again. Light. And Ignition. And activate Interact once per day. You get a first level spell, and I think maybe do Primal. Do we have Primal? Yeah. That's quite nice. Charm on an animal or beast. But I think we'll do summon animal, first level summon animal. Edit it. Mind you, is that first level, is that going to be useful? Let's think of a first level spell that's actually useful at higher levels. So bear with me again. Okay, I decided to change it a bit, to call it a Ring of Natural. Of Minor Gales. And it's like an air thing, so we'll do air. And let's look at what it might look like. Trying to find something that invokes wind or air. It's got some thinking of that little curly one. It's a complicated ring. I was going to call it Ring of Minor Wind, but people would just laugh, wouldn't they? With their sense of humour. And so I changed it to Gale Blast, which is quite useful if you're a martial character, because arcane casters won't want to cast it very much because it does elimination, and so they're likely to get their friends. But someone's stuck in the front of combat, it might be useful for them. So we've got Gale Blast, and I'll just quickly look at another wind motive cantrip now. I'm tempted to use Scatter Scree. It's Disbor Earth, though, so now I'm thinking of Slashing Gust, which is a nice long range attack. So although it's an attack, it's a long range one. You cast Gust of Wind. I think you're doing Tailwind, but it's just too powerful. And some GMs might get annoyed that the character just basically got a free 10-foot speed bonus permanently. And Gust of Wind is still tactically useful. If in a 60-foot line, if used cleverly, you could make a lot of melee characters at the beginning of a fight unable to approach, so waste a lot of their actions. And if they fail, even if they succeed in their saving throws, and if they fail, they're going to get knocked prone, so they're going to be having to spend actions getting up and are susceptible to sneak attacks, etc. So that, after that quite laborious, let's change it to 160 gold pieces. So that was quite a and where is it now? Yeah. Oh, nice to have a unique magical item. If I can find it now. Where is it? It's there somewhere. There. I don't know why I couldn't find it. Doesn't seem to be in alphabetical order, does it? Let's do that. Well, that's not alphabetical, is it? Edit folder, alphabetical. Yep, we can just drag that on. The sarcophagus D is vacated by a vampire spawn. E, chunks of rocks and rubble on the crypt floor. F, opened and empty. Dust free, but there's no meaning to that. So it's the master's antechamber. Doors to the master's crypt. The double doors to the north are embossed with designs of crossed polearms in front of a mailed fist. They open easily into the master's crypt. Final room. You enter a large crypt dominated by a huge sarcophagus set against the wall to one side. Urns and open chests, some brimming with gold, are carelessly piled in the opposite corner. The area is dim and foreboding, despite any lights you may have, magical or otherwise, as if the light is being drawn out into the dark marble walls of the crypt. The PCs will not have too much time to ponder how the sarcophagus might be trapped or what treasures lie among the urns and chests, for the master is outraged at their effrontery. Is it effrontery or affrontery? Let's check. Affront and effront. I'm looking at affront now. Well, affront is an adjective, or an effrontery. Affrontery doesn't exist. It's effrontery. Meaning the same thing. Anyway, he leaves the closed sarcophagus as a dark mist hard to notice, perception DC 30, in the dim room, and then seemingly bursts out of this mist fully formed. So we don't need to open any sarcophagi, because we're vampires. Now we need to do the master. So the PC should be level 5 or level 6 by now, and for the final boss we'll do him level 9, but if GMs think it's going to be too hard, he can always be made weak. And we don't already have the master, so we'll create him. In fact, we'll adapt a vampire rogue. So duplicate the master, change the token, So the PCs will have met the master already, but not in combat. Unique. Medium, undead, unholy vampire. Yeah, that's what we wanted. We'll change his image. I'm going to look up M, and then I'm going to look up T for the. No, the master. Alright, so we've got one of his face, one of his whole body, so I think we used that one. And then tokenizer. And we want some Thessalonian runes. And make him a little royal purple like that. Okay. Creature 9. And we'll have languages. Oh, we'll just do it on this. Perception plus 18. Languages. Not common. If you're the Lord of Sloth, why would you bother to learn the common language? Thessalonian, Necral, and we've got telepathy. Next is the skills. Acrobatics 16. Athletics 19. Intimidation 22. We add in some deception. 20. Diplomacy 20. Intimidation 22. Society, he's not going to know society, I'm going to change that one. Go away, society. And stealth 18. Get rid of society again. Stealth is wrong. Right, that's that. Ability scores 6, 3, 2, 2, 2, 5, 27, hit points 140, got coffin restoration, fast healing 10, avoid healing is the new expression. Initiative is right. Immunities would be the same as the minor ones. Resistance, physical. I'm a bit worried about making it physical 10. I'm going to leave it physical 5. Have to be specific, so we can't just put in a weakness. Well, for vampire weaknesses we have to put in specific weaknesses there. So edit that, because the fast healing is ten. Edit the name of it. That's actually mechanically going to do the fast healing now. Right, he's going to have reactive strike because he's a fighter vampire. And his speed is 30. Climb 30. Like a bat. His saving throw is fort 15. Reflex 18. Will 20. That's all that column done. Right, now his melee is going to be a faux shard. We should design a faux shard. Master's faux shard, and its details are it's the cunning. I don't know what cunning does, but I'll have a look. +1 striking. Cunning. So we look at what cunning does, because I've forgotten. There's an item level 5, which is actually a lot lower than his level, but and lower than the PC's level. Once per minute, if you had used the action to hit and draw blood from a creature, you learn the secret, so you can do a free recall knowledge check, gating an item bonus to the recall knowledge skill equal to the weapon's item bonus or its potency rune. If it's a critical hit, you get a +2 circumstance bonus. That's quite nice. So that's that. We'll put it in there. And then we'll drag it into his inventory. And we'll create an attack out of it. Go into the main. Right. So I decided he was plus 22, plus 21. I will just leave it plus 21. And the clause should be changed to 20. And that should put 3d8 plus 9. Let's do 2d8 plus 9. That's agile. Although he's two-handed, let's forget it. When someone disarms him, he can still use a claw. So we'll keep it like that. Right. Yes, it's claw. He has his. Oh, we'll give him a trip. To specify that he's going to use the trip. Just to spell it out. In fact, let's see if trip is there. See if we can just drag it in and see if that works. Yes, good. So we've done it there. But he will use the plus 21. In fact, we should specify that. So his athletics is that's 19, so that's plus 20. And he's not going to grab. But instead he's going to do brutish shove, one action, press. If the master hits with a strike, his opponent is flat-footed until the end of the master's current turn, and you can automatically shove with the same benefits as a shove action. I don't think we're going to be able to move this in. No, we have to make it. Press. It's one action, description. So we've got Brutus shove there. What else can he do? He can lunge. Again, which is their abilities, not their feats, rather than less his abilities. So we have to do it ourselves. The master extends his reach with a strike or trip 15 feet for his fauchard. That's going to be a nasty surprise to PCs if you can attack 15 feet away. And a swipe. See if that's there. Nope. Edit this action. And it's a flourish, so you can only do it once. The master makes a single melee strike and compares the attack roll versus the AC of 2 opponents within reach and adjacent to each other. +1 attack due to the sweep trait. Which is nice. That's going to be circumstance bonus, isn't it? Same damage roll to both opponents, counts as 2 attacks and multiple attack penalty. Two actions. It's offensive. I'm thinking about create spawn. Oh, it's not really relevant, is it? Oh, I suppose if he... I'll put it in. And then we got dominate. And we'll just check the DC. Alright. In cap, good. It's not that relevant though. The save DC uses the highest spell DC of the vampire's level, and a creature that succeeds is a... Right, so I had put DC 26. And I think if he's 9th level... Well, let's just put that in. Right, so we'll edit this. And the DC is we just enter 26. and then drink blood, and then finally turn to mist. Fair enough. Still not sure about the create spawn. I think it's just too complicated. If a GM wants to do a different campaign where one of the characters is converted into a vampire, fair enough, they can do that themselves. They've got enough abilities anyway. And he doesn't have a sneak attack. Okay, well that's the master. Let's do his tactics. Can't find him. The master, because the inverted commas is at the top. Need those. And with these potentially 15-foot reach, you can go there. The master combat. But before that, all bosses have to have a chat, haven't they? Suddenly there is a burst of sound and the master stands before you as if stepping out of thin air, fully formed and striking a regal pose on top of the sarcophagus. He is dressed in a black cloak over black mail, brandishing a black fauchard polearm with a wickedly curved blade. He speaks in your minds. "This will not do. This is an outrage. You will die without delay." Okay, is it looking alright? Yeah. Right, the master will prefer to remain standing on his coffin on the square next to the wall to prevent flanking. Attacks on the square in front of the coffin Okay, will be with standard, that's it there, will be with standard cover, +2 AC and reflex save and possibility to hide. You will start with clarify that. He will start with swipes and trips with his faux shard, utilising his attacks of opportunity, his reactive strikes. And trying to keep opponents 10 feet away, he will use Brutish Shove on opponents closing within 5 feet and London opponents 15 feet away. If the master is seriously wounded, he throws away his faux shard in disgust and rage and resorts to his claw attacks. Oh no, we have to put the claw attack back in. Or did we leave it in? Did we leave it in? No, we took it out. Claw. Well, I'm going to edit one from the other vampire, see if that works. Vampire Servitor. I'm going to drag it across. Yes, it works. Go away. And details. Attack 20, because it's not magic. And it will be at 2d8. +9. And additional effects of grab. We got the grab already. And we did keep drink blood. Okay. You will cast Dominate, 30-foot range, on the PC, giving him most trouble. He will order them to attack their fellows. Will save each round if failed the initial save. Will save only if the master issues a different order against their nature if critically failed their initial save. Alright, we'll do another heading now. I'm typing away here. Upon suffering this grievous wound, the master curses in renewed rage. You are not supposed to be here. You were to do my bidding and rid me of that Nemo, and just go away or die. You have disturbed my repose. And that is a sin. It's a bit too bold, isn't it? Line, another line. So resorts to his claw attacks. I'm typing again. And now he says, after he's thrown away his Fauchard and doing claw attacks, he'll cast the Dominate on the PC. And I think we'll add a bit more. And then the final bit of text. I mean, GM's know how to do this, but sometimes I might easily forget to start having some speech in the middle of a combat, thinking of all the numbers and everything, and sometimes it's nice to have a reminder or an idea as to what conversation could be had in the middle of a combat to make it more flavourful. And so he says that if he does succeed, at last, someone who knows their place, you know I am the master and you the servant, so destroy these upstarts and take your place at my feet. On the next round, he will leap off the sarcophagus if still on it, onto an enemy square up to 3 squares away. This would be like a shove action. Athletics plus 19 versus opponent fort save. If successful, the opponent will be pushed back 5 feet or knocked prone if there is no space to move back. If critically successful, the opponent will be pushed back 10 feet or fall prone if the moving back is arrested. If a failure, the master will move into an adjoining free square or be knocked prone himself if no free square. And if a critical failure, the master will be knocked prone regardless. If there are prone and standing enemies in the same square, a prone PC will automatically be moved to a prone position in an ally's square, and then have to spend actions to crawl into an empty square. If the master is prone, move him immediately to the nearest free square in a prone position. Anyway, so rules about jumping on top of someone. Grab is not automatic anymore. Okay, that's the combat, and then in the very final episode, promise the final one, we'll be doing the epilogue and what happens when they defeat the master, how they get back. And so thank you for your attention, and speak to you next time. Bye.